Legends like Wes Montgomery didn't start learning guitar seriously until he was in his 20s, and he went on to become one of the best jazz guitar players of all time. It is never too late to pursue your passion. As the old Chinese proverb goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Good day, my fellow troubadours. Today, I want to talk about something that many of us wrestle with. Whether you're starting to learn guitar later in life or picking it up again after a long break, and that one thing is regret.
Regrets, I've had a few.
Maybe you're even a younger person wishing that you had started at 10 instead of 18. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Whatever the case, if you're feeling regret, guilt, or the sting of the what ifs, I'm here to tell you you're not alone, and those feelings are completely understandable. In this video, I'm not only going to share some of my own regrets as a player, but also I'll offer 10 actionable steps to inspire you to stay the course and make playing guitar a positive and permanent part of your life. It's never too late to learn guitar, whether you're 40, 50, or even 60. In fact, many people find starting later in life is incredibly rewarding. So let's dive into why starting now could be such a positive experience. Look, we're all wired to experience regret or doubt. It's natural to wonder, where would I be if I had started younger? What if I never put the instrument down for X amount of months or even years? These thoughts can nag at you, making you feel like you've missed the boat or even question the point of continuing. I know this feeling all too well. There was a time when I put down the guitar for nearly 3 years because life got in the way. And when I finally picked it back up, I used to wonder how much further along would I have been if I had kept playing during those years. It used to nag at me and drive me crazy. But here's the thing, we cannot go back in time. We can only move forward and embrace our own unique path. Use that regret as fuel to keep going. That time away from the guitar, it might have just been the best thing that ever happened to me. I was burnt out and I needed that break. When I returned, I had a better understanding of myself and why it is that I play. I was able to let go of a lot of the mental baggage that stopped me from playing in the first place. And this renewed vigor, it remains with me to this day. And it serves as a reminder to stay the course when I'm just not feeling it. Now you might be thinking, how can being older or having taken a long break possibly be an advantage? I'm going to tell you how. First, let's talk about patience and discipline. As a more mature adult, you've likely developed more of both, two key traits for learning an instrument. When you were younger, you might have lacked the focus or persistence needed to stick with it. Now, you can approach learning with a more mature mindset. Maybe your motivations to play guitar when you were young were the wrong ones, like trying to be cool or trying to attract the opposite sex. You've likely moved past any insecurities that you may have had when you were younger. Second, you probably have clearer goals now, whether it's playing your favorite songs, playing for friends and family, joining a local band, or simply just enjoying the process of learning to play an instrument. You can now tailor your learning to what genuinely matters to you. No need to chase anyone else's dreams or deadlines. Third, access to resources has never been better. With countless online tutorials, lessons, communities, you can find exactly what you need to learn at your own pace. You're not limited to the local options or rigid schedules of having a local teacher. And did I mention you could reach out to me directly for private tutorials? There's an email link in the description. Plus, if you're a bit older, you might not be as limited by budget. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and splurge on gear, but having solid equipment can make your learning process much more productive. And finally, your own personal enjoyment. You could focus on the pure joy of making music and the journey itself. There's no pressure to perform or hit milestones unless you set them for yourself. It's all about what brings you happiness and fulfillment. By the time you're in your 30s or beyond, you likely have a much better understanding of what makes you tick. So if you're ready to start or restart your guitar journey, here are some actionable steps to help make the most out of it. And a lot of these are things that I wasn't doing, and it's what made me get away from playing, and it likely could be what made you get away from playing. Number 1, set realistic, achievable goals. Start by setting small, achievable goals that build toward your larger ambitions. For example, aim to learn one particular song or master a specific chord progression in a week. As Bill Evans, the great jazz pianist, said, practice should be in slow motion or as slow as possible. If you practice in a concentrated way, you accomplish twice as much in the same time. In other words, quality over quantity is key. We all know the phrase, practice makes perfect, right? Well, I like what the famous pianist Vladimir Horowitz says instead. He says, practice makes permanent. Horowitz used this phrase to emphasize that it's not just the act of practicing that matters, but how you practice. The idea that practicing something incorrectly or with poor technique will embed those flaws permanently in your playing, whereas practicing correctly and mindfully leads to effective skill development. So slow down. And if you want to dive deeper into the philosophy of practice, I highly recommend the book Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner. It will change how you approach your playing forever, and you'll find a link to it in the description below. Number 2, create a consistent practice routine. Learn from the sting of regret. Don't take an all or nothing approach. It's likely what made you quit in the first place. Practice daily, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, because consistency is the key. Focus on the quality of the practice rather than the duration. Concentrated, mindful practice is more effective than hours of unfocused playing. And if you mess up and you don't practice for a day or two, do not beat yourself up. Just pick right up where you left off. Think of it as a lifestyle change, like diet and exercise. There will be times when you mess up. Learning how to get over that is a skill in and of itself. Number 3, incorporate fun into practice. Play along with your favorite songs. This makes practice enjoyable and reminds you why you picked up the guitar in the first place. Experiment maybe with new styles or techniques to reignite your passion and prevent burnout. Embrace a community of musicians by performing maybe at an open mic, or support some local artists. Maybe even book yourself a small gig just to hold yourself accountable, whether it's for friends or family. Number 4, record your progress. Maybe keep a practice journal. Document what you practice each day, including challenges and breakthroughs. This helps you see your progress over time. Or regularly record yourself playing. Listening back allows you to hear improvements that you might not have noticed in the moment, and you would be amazed several weeks, months, or even years later to hear what you used to sound like compared to how you sound now. By the way, are any of these techniques that you have used? Or are there some that maybe I haven't mentioned? Please leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. Number 5, seek out learning resources. Use online tutorials and courses. With so many resources available, you can tailor your learning to your needs. Sites like YouTube and Fender Play even offer lessons for all levels. Join a community, engage with other learners in online forums, social media groups, or even local meetups. Sharing experiences and learning from others can be motivating and keep us inspired to play. Number 6, embrace the journey, not just the destination. Focus on the joy of playing in the moment rather than fixating on how far you have to go. Learn from your setbacks. Use any time away from the guitar or past mistakes as learning experiences. Reflect on what you've learned and how it can improve your playing moving forward. And when you catch yourself slipping into regret, remember that the time you spent dwelling on the past could be better used working on one of these goals. Redirect your energy toward positive action. Don't waste any more time feeling regret. Number 7 is to take care of your physical health. Start each session with some finger stretches and warm-up exercises to prevent injury. Rest when needed and listen to your body. Take breaks to avoid burnout or strain, both physically and mentally. Sometimes we just need some time off. But don't get carried away. Number 8, consider taking lessons. Get some professional guidance. Sometimes a teacher can help you overcome obstacles and provide structured learning that speeds up your progress. Find a mentor maybe if formal lessons aren't for you. Consider finding someone you know who plays guitar really well and befriend them. You'll find they're often very eager to share any information they have. Having a teacher and or a mentor is another great way to hold yourself accountable. Number 9, reframe regret as motivation. Use it as fuel. And I mentioned this earlier. But instead of letting it hold you back, use it to make the most of the present. Don't let it become an excuse not to take action or to procrastinate. Every minute you spend practicing now is time invested in your future playing self. Number 10, be patient and kind to yourself. Acknowledge your progress. Remind yourself that every guitarist, regardless of age, started as a beginner. And to some extent, we're always beginners. Your progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. Avoid comparison. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's musical journey is unique, and your path is valuable in its own right. As always, I'd love to hear your stories, whether you've picked up the guitar later in life or you're returning after a long break. How do you define perseverance on your musical journey? So pick up that guitar, let go of that regret, and start making music because your journey is just beginning. I'm Frank Persico, and I thank you for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.